Welcome back to Hidden Power. Today we are discussing our ultimate wish list for the Scarlet and Violet DLC. We'll be covering everything we want to see in the DLC, from new Pokemon, features, story, and more. My name is Dusty. I'm with Lumios Post.
Hello.
And Soul Silver Art.
What's up?
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
I'm here, man. I'm ready.
Chilling.
I'm ready
Let's
to talk
go.
about what I need from this DLC since they're making me wait so long for it.
I was gonna say, this is gonna be a long wait. Thankfully, we do a weekly Pokemon podcast. We're gonna have plenty to talk about.
Wow, so they should really hit subscribe then.
Yeah, they probably should. I think,
Sounds like a
dude,
good idea.
if we look back, right, we really only have one DLC expansion to really base and
Fair.
a lot of our expectations off of, right? That's the Sword and Shield DLC. And with that, we got about 15 new Pokemon, right? In the reveal trailer, I think we got about 7 new Pokemon, maybe only 5 if you don't count Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. So that could potentially mean we have 10 new Pokemon in the DLC that we haven't seen yet. There could also be form changes. What are some Pokemon that you guys think we could possibly see in the DLC?
I firmly believe we're going to get more regional variants. I feel like we have to. We have to get more regional. Yes. Yeah. Look.
We could also get convergence.
Tauros ain't enough. Tauros and Wooper ain't enough.
I agree, but if the... Okay, I'll let you say your thing and then I'll say mine.
I also just kind of think, regional variants is a great way to market it. They know how much we love those. And looking at Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, those added 4 different lines of variants, 6 total, Slowpoke line, and then each of the birds got one. So I think they'll at least have a poster child regional variant, like Slowpoke was our poster child regional variant.
I'm kind of on board with that. And if it's not a regional form, it could be a convergent, it could be paradox, it could be a couple other things.
I would be really sad if they don't do any.
It will be sad.
It's just they just introduced the convergent ones. It's are we gonna get more of those, please?
Now the interesting thing though is so this is outside Paldea. They've said that several times. They really want us to know we're not in Paldea.
Sure.
So if we did get a regional variant, let's say we get hypothetically a variant of the Pidgey line, would they be Kitakamian Pidgey? Would it be or Paldean?
Probably.
Because it wouldn't be called Paldean.
Well,
that was what my point was going to be against your point, actually.
Oh, really?
It's just yeah, because how do we get regional variants for a region that isn't really...
I think the solution is easy, right? In Generation 8, there was another region called Hisui, and we had Hisuian Pokemon, right? So yeah. I think it's as easy as, if it's going to be in Kitakami, it's Kitakamian Pidgey, which would be sick, because a Kitakamian Pidgeotto...
Doesn't roll off the tongue great, though, I will say that.
I think it would be
Kitakamian
Tohoku, if it was anything. Tohoku, because of the Tohoku region where it's from.
Tohoku's the actual place. That'd be calling it...
Well, they did Kanto.
Well, yeah, but Kitakami's the name of this region, though. Is it not?
I don't think so. You'd have to look.
I thought it said Kitakami, and it said there's a village nestled under the mountain. So Kitakami isn't the village; it's the region. I think. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
No, you might be right.
You take a school trip to the land of Kitakami.
The land of Kitakami.
The land of Kitakami. So where there's Kitakami and Pidgeottos. Someone's gonna make one.
I'm gonna be upset about this now.
Can you see a Pidgeot with the green and red colors? That'd be beautiful.
I mean,
that would be pretty cool.
But yeah, the same thing applies for the Blueberry Academy.
Oops.
What are we gonna...
Blueberryans Obstrika.
Yeah, they're underwater, Atlantis Substrika.
Atlantean is a dope name.
That would be awesome.
Atlantean Breviary,
So what is the main? So when I look at regional forms, they are intangibly related to a location, a region, right? It's got to be a regional form. It's got to be a physical landmass. Where I feel convergent species are also kind of similar in that vein. Is there another option? For because the whole point, a regional form is just a good way to market an old Pokemon. You give an old Pokemon a redesign, and then that brings in fans of whatever that Pokemon might be. So they can also do that with the paradox forms, even though those are not forms, and they're much different.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Sure, but can they be? Because like they can't to the same extent, I think, because like the Paradox Pokemon are really rare. Like in terms of
Yeah.
like in-game lore, they're like legendaries in the sense of like they're very rare. I'm not calling Paradoxes legendaries. Don't blast me.
yeah,
But like usually the variants or looking at Sword and Shield, Slowpoke, that variant was very much a part of the Isle of Armor culture. Like
Yeah.
it was all over the place. Like it is a mascot of Isle of Armor, really.
I feel like there are also regional forms that are inorganic or organically or naturally appear or adapt based on artificial influences. So I could definitely see. So even though, like in my mind, I imagine regional forms needing to be or like purely naturalistic, they actually don't need to be. They really could just be like a different type of Pokemon that exists in, let's say, in the Water Paradise.
Yeah, I think actually that the Blueberry Academy has more of a chance to have regional forms than Kitakami.
Really?
Just because I think that we don't know what's going to happen in the Blueberry Academy, like part of it, the teal or the Indigo disc.
Right.
So there could be like a whole underwater world down there, and like that fits for me, like to have like, oh, these are forms that only live here, like under this water place. I know it applies to it in the same way, but it just feels more like something like interesting, let's say.
No, I get that. I mean, yeah, I'd
Do you
be
think that
cool
would-
either way.
Do you think that would like favor convergent or regional forms? Because it is kind of like with the regional forms of Paldea, they kind of just checked. They're like, we need a Pokemon that has another form, so they made Tauros with multiple forms, which is also new, but it's also just one category of regional form. And then they made Wooper, which has a regional evolution, which is also like a check for another type of category.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, they didn't, like, it's kind of wild. I was expecting as many regional forms as Galar, and we didn't
Man,
we didn't
that's
get anything
a
like that.
throwback. Y'all remember the moment where like we all realized, because there was like a leaker on the scene, all that we realized the only regional variants were Wooper and Tauros. That was a sad day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also we had the convergent species, and we thought Paradox were forms.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we thought
I
Brute
knew that
Bonnet
there
was
was
a
two.
regional Amoonguss when we first saw it.
So
I knew that there was two as well of those regional or the convergent, and I was just like, man, two.
So the alternative is we get new Pokemon, right? I feel like 15 new Pokemon is not out of the question. I think in some capacity that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good guess for a number. I feel like it might be a little high, but 15 brand new ones would be really crazy.
I mean, we've got 5 already. I guess 7, right? So we're halfway there.
I don't count. I hope that people don't count it, and I hope that Game Freak doesn't count it. Walking Wake and Iron Leaves as like DLC Pokemon. Like they were in the base game and cut from the base game. I think that they are a part of the original 105 Paldean Pokemon.
Unless I'm forgetting something, it was 8 new Pokemon. I'm including Urshifu as 1 new Pokemon, even though there are 2 forms, and then 4 Galarian forms for the DLC.
Yeah. I don't.
So, if it's around there, then
Looks like about six regional forms. Yeah, I'm seeing
Blaze and Cinnamor on Twitter did like a thing that he counted all of them, and I went over it. So I think that there was 24 new designs. So like if you just take it all as designs, that's probably the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna get close to 30 new designs in this DLC, and we've already got how many do we have? I mean, if you want to count the 2 paradoxes, I don't know, but
I think you're right that they're not counted. They were announced at the same day as the DLC, so I tie them in together. But you're right, you can get them.
They're not part of the DLC. Technically.
I'm counting, unless I'm forgetting some. I'm counting 22 for Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra new designs.
That sounds like a lot. So that includes the Gigantamax.
That includes, which to my memory, was only 2 Urshifus, Blastoise, Venusaur, Inteleon, Cinderace, and Rillaboom.
Yep, that's right.
So that opens the question, like, do we expect there to be Tera Masks or Tera Max or new versions of Terastallization, right? New forms associated with something to do with Tera.
And would that count too is the question, because like it would depend on if that new form of Tera changed an appearance of the Pokemon or if it was just a new hat. Because if it's just a new hat, I wouldn't count that as a new Pokemon design.
No,
but
that'd
if
be
like
so lame too.
it would be super lame. Yeah, it would be super lame. But like if it changes the Pokemon's appearance and they get a special hat, I can kind of lean into it.
Yeah. I think that if they go that route, which I mean, you know, it makes a lot of sense why we wouldn't get regional forms or other types of forms, you know. They're going to fill it up somehow with something. So
what about evolutions? Do y'all think there's a chance at evolutions?
That's an interesting conversation because we almost have, like, with Kitakami, that actually, if it's they're actually describing it as a new land, right? Mm-hmm. I guess it could be the same region, but we don't know where it is. That would actually suggest that, like, if you take Paldean Pokemon and bring them to Kitakami, maybe they have new evolutions there. That's actually a really good point.
I doubt they do it for Paldeamons. Why? I was honestly thinking they won't do it for any Pokemon that is currently in the game. I'm thinking because right now, like, for example, it's funny you say this. On the Wednesday that we're recording this video, I have a video dropping where, like, I dropped some predictions for this. But, like, so if you look at the game right now, Hawlucha is in the game. And Hawlucha is coded as a Pokemon that cannot evolve. Hawlucha does not evolve. But the flip side of that is Dugong is not in the game. So when they code Dugong in, they can code it in as a Pokemon that can evolve. So I would think it would be limited to returning. Yeah, that would be like my top pick. But I would think it'd be limited to Pokemon that you know, are returning, like are not in the game yet.
Couldn't they just change? I mean, I don't know. Couldn't they just change the coding of that once they introduce the new Pokemon?
They could, but I don't think that's like Game Freak. I don't think.
Why is that not like Game Freak?
Game Freak likes to. They've had this whole thing. It's the reason we went so long without cross-gen evolutions, where they don't like to be. They like to be consistent. So like, the reason that it had been so long since we got cross-gen evolutions was because in Generation 5, they introduced the Eviolite. Well, I give my Eviolite to a Hawlucha. I'll keep using that as the example.
No, dude, I've heard this. I don't like this.
It does not benefit from it. And,
no.
There's proof that they're using this thing, because then you look at Stantler and stuff, because those are Pokemon that did get a cross-gen evolution. And what did they do with those evolutions? They said they're only in Hisui.
And even there's Paldea with the Eviolite. I've heard that. I want to push back.
Don't work in the Eviolite does not work on Stantler. It does not work on Ursaring in Paldea. It only would have in Hisui, because they only evolve in Hisui. And they've even gone ahead and said Girafarig in the Paldea region can evolve into Farigiraf. That wording implies to me that next region, Girafarig ain't evolving.
All right, that's
I hate that idea so much.
I do too. That's a
little bit different than what I've heard. All right. Yeah, mostly what I've heard is that they won't let things evolve because they'll be too good and competitive because of Eviolite. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Okay.
No, that's a stupid argument. No, okay. I would look. Porygon 2 and Chansey exists. If they're not worried about them, they're not worried about anything else. Stantler with an Eviolite is not going to tear through anything.
So Dugong not existing. Just so I'm going to reiterate this so people can hear it, and also so I can understand it. Mm-hmm. Dugong does not exist in Paldea, but when it's allowed into Scarlet and Violet through Kitakami, or maybe it's naturally found in the second DLC in the Indigo disc.
It is. Right? We know it's returning in Indigo disc.
So if it's naturally found there, it could then be allowed to have another evolution that's essentially a regional form or a regional evolution. Is that so? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like essentially I could be wrong, but looking at what they did with Hisui and looking at how they worded Farigiraf, it seems like cross-gen evolutions aren't a thing anymore. There's only regional evolutions. Farigiraf is a regional evolution. Girafarig will not evolve in Sinnoh. It won't evolve in Gen 10. It only evolves in Paldea, is what they seem to be implying.
I
hate it too, Soul.
I don't buy it.
I hate it.
It's just how they worded it. They worded it poorly.
They did.
I
hope you're right. I hope you're right. But the fact that with the Hisui ones, they did lock them to that makes me think.
But there's a time travel thing.
Sure, but they could have just given it to us.
Mixing it.
Why didn't they just give it to us? They could have still said, well, the Stantler have been able to evolve.
Are there not going to be items that allows us to evolve Scyther into Cleavor?
I don't think so.
Because those items exist. They could unlock them in the DLC.
At first, I didn't think so at all, but now we've seen like actual proof that there's like Hisuian writing basically in Kitakami. So I'm starting to think that maybe they might integrate like the whole evolution of them as well.
That's dope.
Really cool. I'll add to that and say, I guess, like skip forward 10 seconds if you don't want data mined, not leaked, but data mined information. But in the data mine, we have a data mine of returning Pokemon, like Pokemon that are, and the way they find this is it's scrapped data for Pokemon, it's scrapped dex entries. And of those, Weirdeer, Ursaluna, they're all included. So that would hypothetically imply that they have dex entries, which would imply that they are a part of the next region. Or not next region, but the DLC region.
It could be cool for them to they're returning Pokemon that you can catch instead of just transferring them from home. Because that's really the debate here is like, we are going to be able to have them before the Teal Mask comes out. You know what I mean? Home's going to come out in April or May, and we're going to get our Hisuian Pokemon. But maybe they'll have them as well in Kitakami, like able to be caught like in the wild. Oh, you can catch a wild Cleavor, or you can catch a wild Ursaluna.
Well, I was just honestly thinking you can, because I mean the only three true evolutions from Hisui is Ursaring, Stantler, and Cleavor. So Cleavor and Ursaring, it's by an item. So there could just be a market that sells those items in Kitakami. Maybe they have another auction in Kitakami that sells them because you can find those items there. So that will work. And then with Stantler, now the interesting thing with Stantler might actually be able to evolve, but it's tricky how it works. Stantler evolves by using Psyshield Bash 20 times. And the way they've gotten around this in Scarlet and Violet is it doesn't learn Psyshield Bash by level up, but it is an egg move. So hypothetically, if I catch a Stantler in Paldea, and I bring in my Weirdeer from home when home compatibility's out, and I go into the picnic, give my Stantler a Mirror Herb, he learns Psyshield Bash. The question is, if I now take that Stantler that is from Paldea and use Psyshield Bash 20 times, will it evolve? When we know that, we can figure out a lot more.
Yes.
I hope so. I definitely hope so.
So let's, wish list for DLC. I want Hisuian Pokemon to be accessible in the DLC. I would love new cross-gen evolutions, right? Because even if they are just locked as regional forms, or if they're locked to a region, that's fine. Mm-hmm. I still think you can still get them in some capacity. So I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah, I want cross-gen evolutions too. I love those. I think not only do I love cross-gen evolutions, but I think they're mandatory to the series. The whole point of them is that Primeape's the perfect example because Primeape was a mono fighting type with not the best stats. It was being buried by the fact that there are a billion other mono fighting types. Maybe it was good in Gen 1. I don't know. I wasn't even alive.
I don't even think it was that good in Gen 1. It was quick. It was fast.
Sure.
But anyways.
So it had something in Gen 1 going for it. We're 26, 27 years later. It's not that way anymore. So they had to give it something a little more. And that's similar to cross-gen evolutions should keep going, and I just hope they don't lock them to new games and that they'll give it to us in DLC too.
I'm going to predict we get 2...
You don't think they will, Saul?
No, I don't think they will.
Breaking my heart.
I'm going to predict 3...
No, I mean the opposite. Sorry, Dusty.
I'm going to predict 3 cross-gen evolutions because we have seen a lot of those in Paldea, right? That's actually seemed to be the focus of Paldea. Maybe not the core.
Yeah, that would be
focus.
paradoxes, my guy.
Yes, but but also like I mean there were a lot of cross-gen evolutions. So I'd
There
like
were
to see.
4.
Yeah, that's great. That's a lot.
That's not a lot.
Compared to what?
Nah.
All right. So I think we're gonna get 3
Dunno.
more of those. I want that dugong evolution. That sounds sick.
Yeah, so do I.
So I
We all
want
do.
I want 3 of those, and then I want maybe 1 regional, but I don't even care. I'd like to see 2 new convergent species, at least 1. And then I think we already made 2 new paradox, and then some new like terraforms if those
But
actually
when
change.
is too much too much?
Right.
How are you getting to where you're getting? I don't know. When I do like these wish lists, I get too realistic. Probably.
Yeah.
Like those are all fair. Very.
I just gave you tangible
Fun things.
numbers, so
Yeah.
we can fact check those later.
That's true. I just
Yeah.
think it's like too much all at once, though. You know, like we'll just give you a form of each thing, all these different things.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
They
it's literally
could.
DLC.
They could.
I think it'll only be 1 new evolution per DLC max if we got them, because you have to think Scarlet and Violet, the base game that gave us 103 Pokemon, gave us 4 of them. There's no way that their
Yeah.
DLC gives us 3, because that's right at it, you know?
I don't think that there will be evolutions of older Pokemon, but you never know
That
with
kills
Game
me.
Freak.
Dude,
I mean, it's just
the
like when has that happened before, though? Louis?
No,
You know,
dude,
like-
that's never a good excuse.
It's happened
So,
mid-generation.
I was
Not in
inspired
DLC.
10
I
minutes
know-
ago. I was inspired because it's a brand new, completely unique region, right? With the other DLC, it was just like a part of Galar that we couldn't access. Kitakami is either completely in another part of the world, or it's the environment and the culture is so different that it even though it's connected to Paldea,
They do
that
keep
it
hammering
warrants
it.
a
That it
regional
is
evolution.
not Paldea. They want us to know it is a new place, and that is
Yeah.
weird.
Or like
I-
you're saying, that's where we get Hisui and Pokemon. That could be it
Listen,
too.
it's not that I don't want it or that I don't believe that they could do it. They could absolutely do it. It just doesn't feel like that they would do it. I think that it's not on their radar at all. Like in my mind, I'm just like they're thinking about other things. That's
Alright.
all. There's like so many other things. We're talking about like, regional forms, these random other forms, the, convergence, paradoxes. Like we could just keep going, and
Well,
just
what
giving
the-
more evolutions is probably not on their radar, especially because they don't want to burn up all of those. Like there's only so many regional evolutions you can end up giving. I mean, there's a lot, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they just did 4, 5, So
What did they market? Did they only show off Girafarig? I'm sorry.
yeah.
They only revealed Girafarig, or Furigiraf.
Did they? They didn't show off Convergent. No, they did show off Convergent. They showed up. So
They showed off
yeah.
Wiglet.
Wiglet.
and they showed off. So they showed off one of each, and then they showed off the Donphan Paradox. So they literally showed
Yeah.
off one of each of the new forms.
If you want to be technical, Koraidon and Miraidon.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yes, that's
Kind
true.
of.
That's true. Okay, so do you guys have any more predictions for what Pokemon we could see? I mean, do you have any like fan favorites that you think should get? We've talked about like Scovillain. I think Scovillain is a Pokemon that feels incomplete. There's a couple more.
I will also ask, do y'all think we'll get new Paradoxes?
If we do, it'll be the second one as well.
Yeah.
Second DLC. I don't
Like
think
we go.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
it
can
has to
see
be,
that.
actually.
That's where, in Sword and Shield, that's where they started touching, past legends. Like, that's where they started doing that. That's where they gave us new Reggies. That's where they
Yeah.
gave us regional variants of the birds.
Yeah.
It made it feel so epic. Next winter is gonna be sick.
Man, yeah.
I'm definitely excited.
But see,
about
it pains me when you say that, like, next winter.
Next winter.
It's not
11
that
months.
far, is it?
It's far, man.
The problem is, like, I want it to be closer, but then I also don't want that time to pass yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't want to just blow through a whole year.
Yeah,
just
it's
to get
that
to
weird
Pokemon.
mix of, do I want to have a whole year go by, but it's also like, do I want to have to wait a whole year?
Yeah.
I'll be fine. See, that's why it's so upsetting that it's honestly not upsetting that the second one's dropping in winter. It's upsetting the first one's dropping in fall.
yeah.
At the same time, I've been, like, comforted by knowing that we're at least getting one this year that's, like, we're going to have some...
There'll be
some
more
stuff to
content
do.
there, yeah. There'll be new Pokemon
Yeah.
to capture.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're going to give us new Pokemon, new regional forms, or something like that. That will happen. I feel like that's a guarantee.
Yeah,
as
we're
far
gonna
as
get
Paradox, Yeah, as far as Paradox go, I mean, they're gonna throw us a couple extra, but I don't think it'll be too great. Anyways, okay, so something I haven't really thought about, and again, I keep thinking about this right now, but Kitakami is gonna be the first. I guess it's like the first modern Japanese region, right?
Yeah, first Japanese region in over 15 years. Yeah,
right. That's gonna be open world, right? So like we're gonna be.
Yeah, that's true.
We're gonna be like exploring this region.
I mean, Hisui kind of was. It was segmented open world.
It was, but I feel like Hisui, yeah, that is true, but it was also like just very like there was one town, right? One town.
That's true. Well,
right?
but that might be the case with this too. I mean, you figure, you know, for the record, Tohoku in Japan, you know, obviously it's got more than one town, but it is like the Japanese countryside. It ain't exactly a bustling, you know, city-filled region.
I wonder if they're gonna base the DLC locations kind of off of like Hisui, right, where you have a hub, and then maybe there's like one other area you can run off.
Well, that's what they did with the DLCs. I mean, think about like with Galers. I mean, Isle of Armor, there wasn't a village. There was literally just the dojo and 2 towers. Those were the only like man-made structures. Yeah. And then you had Freezington and Crown Tundra, which was just a small little tiniest village at the very beginning of the game.
They're pretty non-existent. Like it was interesting to see.
Well, I think DLC will be that way too, is what I'm saying. I think we'll have the little village that has the little lights festival, and I bet we won't see a single other city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with that. So that's
Same
one
with
of my wish lists. Yeah,
that's I'm
on my
fine
wish
with
list.
that.
I want like more towns. I want more something to explore that's more than just space. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I guess I would say I don't want more towns, but I want more environments like the bamboo forest rather than the first, like the entire southwest of the map and Paldea. That all is so bland to me. More things like the bamboo forest, you know?
I feel like this will be a thing, by the way. Like I think that even with the Sword and Shield DLC, like they went a little more like in depth or like closer, you know, like more detailed on certain things.
It felt very like a specific location.
Mm-hmm. So I think that this will be similar, where you can like go in somebody's house and see a few NPCs and talk to them.
Oh, bro.
And, you know, that's all I want. I want like
that's classic Pokemon.
Go in someone's house. Soul just wants to break into someone's house.
I do too. That's like honestly. Some of the fun.
Where
you go in there's like 2 NPCs and there's like you read one dialogue, it explains something. You read the other dialogue, it explains something, and then you know about their like toxic relationship. And there's like a Wingull in the corner.
Why is it always a toxic one?
They never ask like, "What are you doing in my house?"
Yeah. Right. They just go like, it's like they just assume you're a therapist. Like, let me tell you all my problems.
My husband shot our Pokemon.
Yeah.
This young Pokemon trainer, child in my house.
I love the responsibility put on the 10-year-old. Take a Pokemon and go off into the world, and then also just every time an adult sees you, they're like, let me tell you about how miserable my life is. You know, it's not unlike being a 10-year-old in the real world.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true. It is true. A lot of times my niece, she's like, yo, you want to play like Mario Party? And I'm like, I gotta work. And then I feel bad.
Dusty turns her, let me tell you about this client I've been dealing with today.
I do a little bit of that. So
yeah.
But like I feel like the Indigo disc, there's a lot more questions around that because that's probably going to be like all internal. It's just like we said earlier. It's going to be like an internal location, kind of like a submarine or like an
I don't think it'll. You think it'll just be Blueberry Academy?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think so.
I can see there being water around it, but like what? What do you?
You think it'll just be water?
Look, I don't know. What else is it going to be?
Look at the returning Pokemon, Zebstrika. Where am I finding a wild Zebstrika?
This is
in the middle of the ocean. We're totally going to have some land.
No, but I think the land is going to be internal. I think it's going to be like the Aether Paradise or the Aether Foundation.
Nah, I think that's way too boring. I think you'll be able to like teleport to like a nearby island or something, or go to a nearby island. When I say teleport, I mean like go there. Like you know, like when you click fly to another city, you teleport there in terms of the game.
Well, how's that gonna work then? Like, because we don't even actually. That's the thing. We don't even know on the map where the Indigo disc is, right? Like, do you guys have any ideas? If you're enjoying this show, just $5 helps us out so much. Right below this video, there's a join button. You can click it and become a channel member.
And more importantly, we have merch. Seriously, I'm about to, like, when we're done recording this ad, I'm trying to speed up this ad so I can go and buy my own merch, which is really lame, but also, like, it's super cool. And
it's not lame.
Cool.
I'm gonna be wearing.
Amazing.
I'm gonna be wearing a hat. I'm gonna be wearing a T-shirt. I'm also gonna have a hoodie. I'm gonna have a Hidden Power hoodie.
I'm gonna get that too then.
Yeah, Soul's gonna get
sure.
one.
I want a mug. I want to put my Snapple in a Hidden Power mug.
I like that. I'm gonna be drinking coffee in a Hidden Power mug.
That makes more sense. That makes more sense than Snapple.
That's like, what is this, plastic? In
It's bad for the environment. Get a mug. Save the turtle.
There you go.
Silver Army. Grab your merch. Support your boy.
Listen to Lumi. Get some of our stuff. It's really good stuff, guys.
Your support will allow us to continue making Hidden Power videos for the rest of the year. Thank you guys so much. And now back to the video.
I think it's
the middle
out.
of the ocean.
Yeah, I think it's out in the middle of the ocean, right off of
Paldea. Which
Paldea.
direction? Do you have any idea?
Left.
Atlantic.
Yeah, it'd
Atlantic?
probably be
this way.
Because if there's land, up there,
West.
then it's probably more likely like northwest. I would say.
That makes sense. If this is here, and then...
I mean, it could be, like, southeast as well, because there are islands over there. I think that it's really just based off of islands off of Paldea, off of Spain and Portugal.
And the Azores are to the left, right?
Mm-hmm. That one makes the most sense to me, but if you look at the map that they show us in the Blueberry Academy, a lot of people think it's Kitakami. I haven't touched on this on Twitter yet, but I will. Basically, it could be Kitakami that they're looking at. I think that it's actually this area. I have a mixed theory about what you guys were saying. Like, I think there's an actual land that's going to be underwater that we can go to, but it's not. It's underwater, but it's like obviously you can live in it.
It's like a dome. It's an underwater dome.
Yeah, and there's land in there, like a whole land kind of thing.
Dude, I would love to be going through a forest and then just look up in the sky and see a whale lord. You know, because we're in a dome.
That'd be epic.
That would be really cool.
I don't think they would do it that crazy, but I think that would be epic. I think it would be cool to just see like the sea above you. Would be really awesome.
Sure, yeah,
we
that would
saw
be cool
similar...
too. Like, give me the whale lord. Marine suit.
Yeah, the marine tube in Black
Giant tube.
Yeah.
There's
but anyway,
so there.
That map is actually shaped like I think Palma de Mallorca. I think
this.
No, the one in the trailer where it shows the Mamoswine, the Geodude graphic.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
okay. I'll find
it's
it.
in the trailer, so it's kind of tough to find. But yeah, it's shaped like one of the islands in the Mediterranean, actually.
That'd be
but
cool.
then there's other people that will say that it's shaped like the Tohoku region. So I don't know.
You know, I don't now. You know, Soul, you're like you originate from around the Mediterranean, so I may be completely off base here. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't know like the architecture and stuff there. But there was a recent card in the TCG, and yeah, that's it. There was a recent card in the TCG, and it had Armarouge. It was like an Armarouge V card, and it looked like he was in almost like Greece or something, like those kinds of villages that you see there. You know, like similar to Sutopolis City. Right. So I'm wondering if maybe because the cards have kind of hinted at stuff before. Yeah. So I wonder if maybe that was like Armarouge in this, you know, Mediterranean island place. You know,
I think that Spain is like a Mediterranean island place. I think it's just Paldea, probably. It's
I couldn't find like a city in Paldea that was like that.
It just is like a Spanish vibe. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and especially those islands in the Mediterranean that are off the coast of Spain. Who knows though? Who knows? It could be another kind of region. A little hint to something else.
Man, I love when they do stuff like that. That's like my favorite thing in the world. But I hate that we can never find the hints until after we, you know, like there was a freaking poster of the teal mask Pokemon in one of the most important locations in the game.
It's always obvious in hindsight. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I want to find the hint, but it's like, and it's funny. We think like we always find these hints, so we're like, okay, now we know. Look for this. Look for this. Look for
we
this.
never find it again.
No,
Exactly.
I
wish that.
Yeah,
I wish that Game Freak would like actually know that we love these things. You know what I mean?
I
Not
think
like
they
that.
do,
Not that hint. I mean like the other hints that he was talking about, like putting something in a TCG card. You know, like the crazy ones that we're all looking for all the time.
Yeah.
Even in like,
because they do put hints.
Even in like movies and stuff, because like the Zarude movie was set in like a town that was inspired by somewhere in Portugal.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And then of course now you have Paldea.
It's true.
When I look at these clouds, I'm like, what else could be there? Like the Strait of Gibraltar would be maybe where we think this turtle head is. Where
some of them is just formatting, though. You know what I mean? It makes it look symmetrical to do them on all the corners.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I still think I know that like there are going to be some comments very upset about me saying this, but top right is totally Kitakami.
It's gonna like the cloud's gonna move away and Kitakami's gonna be right there.
Exactly.
Like,
it might be other side of that mountain.
Yeah.
But it's right there. And this isn't like I've seen a lot of people say like, oh no, that's just people on Kaloscopium. It's not Kaloscopium because I'm not saying it's Kalos. I'm saying it's there.
Yeah.
I know that's the thing is people think that we're talking about it being Kalos, but it's
no, it ain't Kalos.
So
but it is going to be where we thought Kalos was.
Yeah.
Lumi, what that reminds me of is in Generation 7, there were like, I think there were multiple towns that had direct inspirations. Wasn't there a town that was based off of the Johto region? There was a region that was straight out of like the like cowboy, like a cowboy town.
Mount Alola, right?
Yeah, in Alola.
Yeah, Paniola town was a cowboy town. Melee City, they said, was founded by people from Kanto
which
and Johto.
Obviously has nothing to do with Hawaii, right? It's literally just like, let's take this inspiration and put it here.
Well, the Melee City stuff was kind of Hawaiian in the sense that, like, it is close to Japan, so you do actually have some, like, relatively blended cultures there. Like, if you look at, like, a lot of...
but there were references...
made sushi. We have poke in Hawaii, and those are very similar, you know?
Yeah, but I remember there being, like, dialogue saying that, like, we, like the town was like, we live like this because we love the Johto region, or we have connection.
It wasn't because they were, it was because it was founded by people from Kanto and Johto.
There we go, yeah. So I think all this has to be is a town that is heavily inspired by real-world Japanese whatever, or it could just be like, in-universe, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, right?
I think it is literally just, it is based off the Tohoku region in Japan, and just Pokemon is putting it somewhere else because the Pokemon world does not equal the human world, and I think people are going to have to get over that. It is crazy to me that Pokemon fans get so married to the idea that this is like this, so this has to be like this. And
it's not,
no, it doesn't.
I mean, it could be
wrong. It can be flexible.
Too.
Yeah, we could be wrong. But for the record, if we are wrong, that doesn't mean that next gen, they won't,
absolutely.
I mean, patterns, especially with Game Freak in the last 5 years, patterns are only here to be broken.
Patterns.
What?
That's what people write, like, patterns. It's like a sarcastic.
Never heard that. I was like, what's he saying?
I'm pretty sure that's what people like when you're making fun of someone who's like into patterns, you go, oh, patterns. Like MUH.
Never.
Anyways, leave a comment below.
I think this is an old person thing, Dusty. I'm too young to understand.
No, I think I'm too old for it, and
you're too old for it, and I'm too young for it.
Lumi is too not in touch with the online world for it. I don't know what's happening.
This is like, when
like,
you're
is that a Marvel reference?
Tries to say swag or something, and it's just like, Grandpa now,
Bruh, I've got
my patterns.
I'm gonna say.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Hashtag my patterns in the comments below if you've made it this far into the video.
Can I say I got the Riz?
No, don't
say that. Can I say that?
No, Grandpa, you can't say that.
Yo, I'm gonna be 30 soon. Anyways, so the features we want to see in Scarlet and Violet, quality of life features.
Everyone wants those.
There's a lot of those that we want, and I feel like at this point we're far enough away from the game's launch. and a couple weeks out of we're living in a reality where we are post base game update, right? Quality of life update, and the game has it's not performing that much better. I think I've accepted that this game is the way it is. This game is the way it is. So the lagging, the glitches, that's just part of it now. That's part of Gen 9. But what kind of tangible updates are you guys looking for?
Okay, well, first off, I have to say I saw the funniest thing. I mentioned this in the last video we recorded, but I did a theory on how Paldea may not be real, and it's kind of like the Link's Awakening island where it's imaginary. Yeah. And people in the comments, I'm ashamed that I didn't think of a joke to do with this, but so many people in the comments were going, so that's why it's buggy. It was intentional. And it was like that would be it would be so funny if Game Freak had one they did that so and they had one NPC be like, is that why I fell through the world earlier?
Dude, we are glitching. We're experiencing a world that's glitching the same way that the professors glitch out.
Right, Game Freak try to play it off like it's intentional. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Though I would let me tell you something. Everything. I will forgive every glitch if Game Freak acts like it was on purpose.
Even if they just put a tweet out, that'd be hilarious.
Dang, they should have done that. That would have been great.
That's so funny, dude.
But I saw tons of people in the comments were saying that. And I was like, that's kind of genius, in a really weird way.
It really is. Lumi, anyways. Yeah, do you have any battle requests that you would want? I think so. Something that kept him. Yeah, well, just
how long you got?
Maybe 10 minutes. So the thing that kept me going back to Sword and Shield, and that I lived for 2 years in the Crown Tundra doing the Dynamax raid adventures. I don't really know if we're gonna get something similar to that in Scarlet and Violet, but I'd be super happy if we did.
I would propose that we're going to get something exactly like that. Good. I think we're definitely going to get some special way to get legendaries again. So I think that's probably exactly what we're going to get again.
Man, I hate that though.
I
loved that in Black and White they gave us all these legendaries, or Black 2 White 2, I mean, they gave us all these past legendaries, but they all had a story. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here waving my Snapple drink. I didn't put that down. But they
did
and
a
now
little
it's
bit of
just
that Sword
go
and
through
Shield,
a portal, there's a Lugia, throw a Master Ball at it,
I think there's too many. I do agree with you, but there are too many legendaries for them to all be roaming around the world.
Then don't put them all in the game.
No, man, it's fun to be able to interact
or make them transferable and just make only the ones that you can catch a new one of in this game. Make them limited to what you can give a story to.
That makes
if you want to throw them all in,
I don't know.
You should be you can bring them from Sword and Shield.
That's how they treat mythicals. I mean, think about it. And in Sword and Shield, you were allowed to use Mew, Celebi, I think Jirachi.
But the thing is
but the only mythical you could catch was Keldeo.
Scarlet and Violet is a lot of people's first game, right? Most people don't play every game in the series. That's why they're trying to and yes, they've limited, right? That's a whole national index conversation. Yes, they've limited what Pokemon you can bring up, what Pokemon you can capture. But I feel like legendaries, they want to highlight those. Those are special. Those are the box art legendary.
They're not special if I can walk into a cave and catch all of them in that cave.
Special doesn't mean easy to get, right?
But they're not. How are they special now?
They're powerful, man. They're like Paradox. Dude, you can catch...
But that's what I'm saying. They used to be more than powerful. They used to be cool.
Bro, you're turning into 30-year-old Dusty. That's... right? You sound like back in my day.
And Wonner.
I think... I don't know.
I remember when I hope there was to get a legendary.
Dude, I remember failing Groudon in Gen 3 at my sister's gymnastics practice.
Doing it now.
Dude, I literally remember that, and I'm like a little kid. I'm like, I just keep failing the ball, Ultra Ball, fail. It would wipe out my whole team. Anyways, Soul, do you have any features that you want in Scarlet and Violet?
Oh, so you're not letting me talk about the battle features?
Well, we just talked.
What was your question again?
Are there any
features you want?
quality of life
Quality
features
of life.
that you would add? Or it can be general features as well.
I mean, I think it's what I want, but I think that they will. You're talking about the bugs and everything. Like, I think that a lot of that will be much more polished. I think that with the DLC, a whole layer of polish is coming.
To the whole game or just to the DLC?
I think mostly just for the DLC, but
Yeah.
like the performance might be a little better in mainland Paldea.
Fingers
as well.
crossed. Maybe Gen
Yeah,
10's
I don't
a
want to
little
get
better.
people's hopes up, but I just think that that's kind of how it was with Sword and Shield as well. It just the DLC felt like completely different, like somebody else made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be the same situation.
Someone else
It's
did
not-
make the DLC for Sword
Yeah,
and Shield.
I know. But it's not confirmed that that's exactly what's happening here too. Like I always say, like it's two teams making it, so like there's another team making this DLC or was making the DLC. But I don't know if that's the case this time around. I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't tell you.
Are you there
No, but-
sometimes, Soul?
Sometimes.
He
No,
was
but
like,
just
I'm
what
not
do you
there
want
right
though?
now.
What do you think would make this a better game? We're not
I
predicting.
love
This is a
game.
wish list.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the best at these. I love this game. I don't have too much like that.
So there's nothing from a past game that you're like, man, I wish we still had that.
No, I really just like getting new Pokemon forms and battling them. So like we're probably gonna get a battle tower kind of thing in the second one. I really do
Yes,
like that.
we
a
do
lot.
need that.
That'll be
I
fun.
want something like that so I can
Yeah, you
just
need
have
to
fun battling people.
Right, you need to use your Gen bonds to battle some people.
An actual
Yeah.
an actual Elite Four would be cool.
Yeah, like
We have an Elite Four, but like you mean like rematching them?
Yeah.
Well, dude, there
Okay.
is one. Like, did you saw the image, right? For the Indigo disc, there's 4 people there.
Yeah.
they
You think that's the Elite Four?
it's not an elite
that
4, but
region.
it is basically the Blueberry Academy.
That's true. It's 4 people.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Definitely.
sick. That would explain why you can't replay the Elite Four.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
cool.
well, you know what? Like, also, the way the Elite Four worked in this game was they were members of like the academy. Like, it was an academy organization, really. Could be what we're seeing here. This is just the Blueberry Academy's Pokemon League.
Yep. It's very possible.
Fighting, Steel, Fire, Fairy.
It specifically says when you read that, it's like, oh, it says it right there on like the headline where Pokemon battling flourishes. Like, it's a big deal battling.
I
So
think
I
they're-
love that. That's already a wish list of mine checked off. Like,
They're really trying
Yeah.
to, and I love that they're doing this. They're really trying to, with this DLC, capture. They want it to feel almost like a brand new game in the sense that they've got a lot of imagery that's very similar to new journeys. You know what I mean? Like you have our new Elite Four, you have our new starters, and the a trio from the Teal Mask. So. And I love that because I want the DLC to feel as much like a brand new game as it possibly can.
yeah, I think it will.
I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah.
So
Another
there's
thing-
nothing else you can think of.
Well, no, I mean quality of life, not really. I liked Paldea. I liked Gen 9. I liked quality of life things like letting me release all my Pokemon in a
Mass
box.
release,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I need the mass release.
That
It
would be
doesn't.
nice.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be quality of life. I'm really just looking for like fun things to interact with in the DLC.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is really I want them to like properly wrap up these stories that we're like constantly speculating about. Like I need to
Yeah.
know because that's what I care about. Like I care about the lore and the story and the Pokemon. That's me in a nutshell, and the battling. So those are the things I like. I hope that they wrap it up nicely in a bow for us.
Lumi,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about battling?
So one, we need I may be wrong on this. So please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments because I would love to find out I'm wrong
Oh,
about this.
They will.
But there were they will. So Dusty, I had gotten really excited because when they released the recent patch, there were you can now change the battle timer. I have
Yes.
seen some people say, I haven't played around with it enough to see, but I have seen some people say that is only online competitions. You can like make your own competition where you can change your timer. It's not player versus player. Like I cannot get on a 6-on-6 battle with one of you and change the timer. And if that's the case, you need to change that. Why'd you put it in one thing and not the thing we wanted it in? You know, I mean, what the heck?
It makes no sense.
Then another thing is, and it looks like they're doing this to an extent. I want more battle backgrounds. I don't want to battle on that stupid schoolyard. It looks like, so in ranked, I went in ranked, and they do have other battlefields now in ranked, but oddly enough, it's only the schoolyard background, the plaza in Mesa Goza, Larry's Gym, which, you know, is the treasure eatery, Namona's Beach, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, the Elite Four Room. But in player versus player, I've done 3 battles, maybe 4, since the last update, and I have only gotten the schoolyard. So I think, again, they only locked that to rank and don't have that in player versus player. And I know that's stupid, maybe, but that schoolyard is so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
That's not where I want to watch Worlds. So give me more battle backgrounds. Give me all the gyms battle backgrounds.
It's definitely not stupid, nor the point you made before that. Like, those should be available for everyone at all times.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was weird that wasn't. And, I mean, they could even do, like, because in Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, and Sword and Shield, you could change your trainer card to kind of influence what gym you might get.
I miss that a lot.
It would be cool if they could give us something like that. A trainer card itself would be cool. They kind of have the trainer profile thing, but that's not as fun.
It's not the same.
The trainer card felt so official. It was like, look, here's my card, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
imagine printing those.
People did, like, you know, there's like a whole thing on Etsy where like you can send them their pictures and like they'll do like the Sword and Shield style trainer card and send it to you.
That's a lot of fun.
I like people would like commission artists to do them too. I loved that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was on Etsy. People would sell, like, they would do that art or whatever too. Yeah.
So what are some of the what plot line are you most excited for them to finish?
I mean, obviously, the one that we know. not like, I'm not crazy about, you know, what we just found out about, like, you know.
I think that's really interesting.
Mask.
You're not.
It is interesting. I am, but I'm more excited about what I'm already invested in. Obviously.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, those are going to be cool and fun, but I'm like trying to find out what's going on with the third legendary and all of that. Like, I want to know all about the Scarlet and Violet book and Heath and all that. I know I'm not going to get all my answers, but, you know, it's still fun to like end up finding out what it was.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
Right. I mean, I think we're all expecting these 2 DLC packs to answer a lot of the same questions, so they'll probably thread through.
I'm expecting it, but I'm keeping my expectations low. Like, it's supposed to be hype, but like at the same time, like, it's Game Freak, and a lot of times, like, man, what if paradoxes are just paradoxes? You know, what if they're just paradoxes?
I think that's the one I'm most scared of. Like, they're clearly going to explain Terrastal. I'm so worried that Paradox was a base game thing, and that they are not even going to touch them in DLC.
Yeah. How much did they expand on Ultra Beasts? Dude, I'm due for so many playthroughs.
They expanded on them a ton in Ultra Sun Ultraman. You got to visit their home worlds.
Yeah, but okay. But they did explain. Okay. They explained what they were.
Well,
just they aliens from Ultra Space.
The difference is they explained that in the first game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did get to know them more in the sense that we got to visit we not only got to visit their homeworlds, but we also got to travel through Ultra Space. So you kind of got to learn a little bit more about what Ultra Space is. You know, then they gave us more Ultra Beasts and gave us lore on them. You know, even telling us like Poipol's a starter, where it comes from.
You're right, because we don't even know what Paradox are. You're right. I guess I was thinking, like, how much of an explanation are you expecting? But you're right. We don't even know if they're.
I just want to know what they are. Is that much to ask?
Real, artificial. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Oh man. Yeah. I would not be surprised for them.
That.
I wouldn't be surprised for them to just be like, that was a base game thing.
Well, and it gets me. The scary thing is, think about what they're called. They're called paradoxes. Mm-hmm. The scary thing is, if they never answer them, they hold true to that name. They could be paradoxes because we will never know what they are. It's like what's under Diglett.
we don't need to understand why they exist. We just need to understand, or yeah, maybe not. Like I just need a couple more breadcrumbs, right? Like they don't need to explain the science, but if they just say, if they just point to Terrapagos, if they just point to Terrapagos and go like maybe, then okay, good. Now we have a direct connection that was deliberately made.
I get what you're saying. I agree. Like, at least show us that Terrapagos had something to do with the creation of this time machine that brings paradoxes here. I mean, they don't have to, because it really was the power of terrestrial power. You know, like that's what they say in the game. Like the crystals allowed them to make the time machine. So that could be the connection. You know, like I think that the clear thing is that the mystery of Area Zero and of the DLC is Terrastal. Like it really is, because we didn't get anything on Terrastal in the base game. Like it just was like there's crystals and they change your type.
Right, and they even like draw some attention to it, like with Hassel saying, "Oh, you'll notice that on Terrastal Pokemon, there's a hexagon." You know, like and just little things like that, and them saying, "We think that this Pokemon might be responsible for Terrastal," but like it's clear that that is the bigger focus. But yeah, I am with you, Soul. Like I am so worried, and I think it's perfectly possible that just we never hear about paradoxes again.
But that's the opposite of a wish list.
Well, no, the wish list is that I want
the wish is that
everything's gonna be wonderful.
We want it, but I'm so based in reality sometimes.
Yeah, next video's a fear list.
Yeah.
What are your greatest fears?
My game crashes for the 20th time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I lose my save data. That's my fear.
Yeah. Is that a quality of? Your game has only crashed twice?
Yeah.
I've never crashed.
How many hours you logged?
Oh, I don't know, but definitely over 70 hours.
When you're next time
70.
you're on your game, you're on your game, find out the amount of hours and send it to me, because I swear mine has crashed probably actually 20 times.
That's
how many hours?
And I'd like to. I'm not sure. I'll also look on my game and send y'all.
I'm somewhere between like 150 and like 225, somewhere between there.
Dang.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that on this same topic, I haven't played Scarlet and Violet in like probably since Pokemon Day, because I'm afraid that it's gonna erase everything.
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
I haven't played it. I'm like,
I got the new patch. Yeah.
I have a battle channel. I have to.
Yeah. I mean, you're safely playing it, but I just don't want to lose my mons, man.
No, you know what's funny too? I even bought the DLC, and they think that's like
they say it's the DLC. Yeah.
And I bought the DLC. Nothing happened, but they say it's extremely rare. Like they say it's
quality
super rare.
Of life.
I've seen a lot of people say that like they think it might be either because there was with either Sword and Shield or X and Y or something. There was an issue with this SD cards. Not using like Nintendo licensed SD cards. Like if you just buy any random SD card, it doesn't mean that's necessarily compatible with your system. Thankfully I bought a Nintendo, like it's got the little 1-up mushroom on it, and that's my SD card. But modded Switches, I've heard some people say that could be in effect. This is all speculation. I mean, you saw Joe Merrick said that he reached out to the Pokemon company and was like, "Do you know what's going on?" And they've been like, "Nope, no idea." Like they're aware of it, but they have no clue what it is.
Yeah, that's
because it's so rare.
My wish list is that they fix this so that I can play the game again, because I want to.
Right.
The good news is, if I do lose all of my save data, I can just start over and I'll be done by the time the first DLC comes out.
Yeah, that's true. So you'll be done by the time the second one comes out. Maybe.
You're right. You're probably right. You want to move to leaks?
Yeah, let's move into the leaks section. If you're uncomfortable with leaks, now's your time. Hit subscribe before you leave. But
on Solo Dice.
But thanks for watching. Everyone else, leaks. It's leak section, leak season. Let's go.
Hidden Power After Dark begins now.
Yeah. I get a list of all the Pokemon that are said to be returning. This was what, data mined?
This was data mined. Yeah.
That are said to be returning in DLC.
Now,
which is
there should be
dope.
more. I will add there should be more, because of that list. Of that list, it was that list had 225 Pokemon on it. They said over 230 would be returning, and that list included the Hisui Pokemon, who are not returning. They're already in, so they wouldn't count. It included Charmander line. That wouldn't count. It included, I think it included the Kalos starters, but don't quote me on that. That wouldn't count. It included Typhlosion's line and the Rowlet line. Those wouldn't count.
Okay.
And Wooper and Quagsire, and those would not count.
So there are more. Do you have a link to the image?
No, there's not like more like that I know of. I'm saying, but there will be more. Right?
Okay.
Because they said over 230. This only accounts for about 200 of them.
I wonder though, if I remember correctly, I feel like it said that it was counting like the home Pokemon as well in that 230.
I don't remember it saying it's counting the home Pokemon, but
it's not specifically that, but it says something along the lines as that, like on the website.
I don't know anything about this, but I mean that doesn't mean that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm ill prepared as well.
Well, this list is awesome. We got the other 2 Kanto starters. There's a bunch of Kanto Pokemon.
All the starters are in except
Dugong's
for Tepig and Snivy.
Yeah, that is a really good point because it makes you think, oh, are they saving that for a remake?
Remember with Crown Tundra, the big kicker was that they had every fossil in with the exception of Sinnoh.
Yeah, that's spicy, man. And there's even
it's
nice to see all these.
Point.
Oh, man, this is so cool. There's a lot of cool returning Pokemon here.
Same with Mythicals too. It was like there was something with the Mythicals where they had a Mythical for every generation except Sinnoh.
Conkeldurr's in, Zebstrike is in, Leavanny is in. Jeez. Leavanny's in. That's Ducklet. We got Ducklet. Ducklet. Joltek's in. The Chandelure line's in. We got a bunch of that's so
We're gonna be able to Tera Fire Chandelure.
Toucannon's back.
Toucannon is the bomb, man. I love
that.
Toucannon.
We got Duraludon. That's gonna look so good with the
I'm so
with the
ready.
Gen 9.
That's the one I want to see.
That's gonna look so good.
That is the one.
Maybe we should make a whole video about this. Do you think Cramorant's gonna eat any new Pokemon? I'm just kidding.
No, definitely not.
It's gonna choke on another meal. Anyways, this list was exciting. This has been around on YouTube for a while, but it's so fun to look at. There's
you realize too, if we are getting a regional variant, it's on this list.
Ooh, okay, so let's do that right now. What
Naturally.
Pokemon do you think would be the perfect candidate for a new evolution? Dugong's right there. We got that. I think Dodrio too. Dodrio needs a new evolution.
Dodrio, give it a
fourth head.
Make it a Hydra.
I was gonna say make it a dragon
Hydra.
type.
That's like reptilian.
That's so sick. It's like a gecko, but instead of losing a tail, every time it loses a head, it grows back.
Is this Scovillain though?
Yeah, that is Scovillain. You're right.
Maybe Dodrio will eat Scovillain. Like he'll say something about how they're like natural predators or something. That'll be kind of fun.
I think Noctowl is always a great candidate for a new evolution.
I love Noctowl, and I would be for that. I was a kid. Apparently Soul let me know that he still considers me a kid before we start recording, just so we're clear. But when I consider myself to have been a kid, I was playing Soul Silver. It was my first time playing through Johto, and I found a shiny Hoodoo, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I was like, I'm like Ash,
Yeah, that is incredible.
Wow.
That really is so cool.
Such a good memory.
I think that's one of the ones I think I've always wanted. That's really sick. Because you're right.
Is Ledian on this list? I need Ledian.
Yes, Ledian and Spinarak are in. Or Spinarak is.
So
Maybe
good.
Ledian isn't.
Yeah.
No, don't do this to me.
Oh, only Spinarak.
It's only Spinarak. That's hilarious. I mean,
I want Ledian to get it.
They have always been in the same game too. That's wild.
I could see Magcargo getting a new evolution. I could also see.
That's why I don't
see
look at this stuff.
Lantern also getting a new evolution.
I'm depressed now.
How about
Lantern would be a cool new evolution.
Lantern would be great. I would love to see Lantern.
And it becomes like more of a full dolphin or like I guess an anglerfish. It's not a dolphin.
Yeah.
I could see them doing. You're right. Zebstrika would be a cool evolution. What about Drill? Excadrill. Excadrill.
That's complete. I think
It could be complete, but I could also see getting an evolution. Because Bisharp, that's a complete Pokemon. And that got
I never thought it was. I always felt that Bisharp was missing
Bisharp,
out.
No, it looked full. I could see Scraggy getting a new evolution.
Yeah, I could see that one.
I love how you're doing evolutions.
Yeah, I know. I said if there's a regional form, it's on this list, and this man was like, evolutions.
I don't know about evolutions.
The evolutions are cool, man. The evolutions. So this is my wish list. This is what I wish.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Dude, Galvantula.
Mightyana for a new evolution. We need that because now we've got Mobostiv. It's a better dark type dog. We need Mightyana. I'm giving like well, this might post after, but on Wednesday's video, I did research and like tried to find evolutions that would work. Like they're based off of real things in the real Tohoku region of Japan, or based off of legends. Not necessarily real things. There is a yokai that is a dog that is like a spirit dog, and like I think Mightyana would work so well for it and make it Dark Ghost for an evolution, which is such a great typing. It's only used by Spiritomb and Sableye. I want it so bad.
I'd love it.
That's my wish list.
Ogerpon could be Dark Ghost.
I can see. It's totally going to have grass in it, I think.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Grass is not the best type.
No, it is not.
No.
That's my wish list, a grass type buff.
Yeah, right?
Oh, tutor moves. Tutor moves.
Too.
I do want tutor moves.
Yeah.
That would be also on my wish list. Those are so nice. New ones, old ones, I don't care. Both, please. That would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know why Volbeat and Illumise.
They literally put
Volbeat,
Illumise, and they put plus Illumise on, and I'm so upset about it.
Can they take them out and put Ledian instead? Like
right?
Seriously, yeah.
I don't want.
And then give it, dude, and then give Ledian an evolution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I need. Dang.
Yeah.
Well, Lumi is saying that there should be more on this list, right?
I think it'll be only like mythicals, legends, things that wouldn't be in the decks.
Right. I agree with that, but I found the quote. That's what I was looking for. So in this, it's on the website, and it says in part 1 you'll be able to encounter over 230 familiar Pokemon. Oh, it says and in part 2.
I was about to say in just part 1.
No, yeah, and in part 2, 230 familiar Pokemon. Then it says at the bottom, note. This number above includes Pokemon that you will be able to bring to your game via Pokemon Home or receive in trades.
See, but I think what they're meaning by that is not the Pokemon that are going to be able to come back in home. I think they mean this includes Pokemon that won't be in the decks, but you're able to bring in from home. Like, for example, Magearna. Right. It wasn't in the Isle of Armor. Yeah.
Totally. No, what I mean is that 230 counts however many more Pokemon we know that were data mined that are coming in Pokemon Home, which is like Charizard, Greninja line, all those lines that they're doing for the raids,
Yeah.
I don't know the number, but that you have to like minus that number from the 230 and then see what we get. And it is over. They always say over. It's over 230. So who knows, but it is counted in there according to the official website, which who knows what that even means because the official website says the second one's coming out in winter 2023. So
I want a Magcargo evolution that like solidifies completely, and it's like a statue. It can only move because like,
that'd be awesome.
There's only like a little bit of fire at the bottom, but like it's like a gargoyle almost. That's what I want.
Okay, so it would be. It would be, there's 207 new Pokemon on that list, like not currently in the game. So hypothetically, there would be at least 23 more Pokemon that is not on this list.
You think we'll ever get a regional Lapras?
Dusty's in the zone of like...
One day, maybe.
Like they should make it like, not flying type.
Well, I don't know. Because they've already given it some love.
I could see it like no. Yeah, that's true. But they could give it like a paradox Lapras.
Paradox
would be
Lapras.
like would be like the ancient like
it's not a violent version.
The past one, definitely. And it'll be like dark type and like ice, and it swims in the depths, and it's like vicious, and has the mouth of like an alligator. That's what I want.
I like the idea that they're bringing back Metagross and Kommo-o. Those are the two pseudos that we don't currently have in the game. I like the idea of like them doing, because Kommo-o is very tribal looking, so it's very past, and Metagross is very futuristic looking. So I like the idea of like giving a past Paradox to Metagross and a future Paradox to Kommo-o. I think that would be really neat.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that. That's
Those
really
are cool ideas. It's true that this list also tells us if these Pokemon could get a Paradox as well, because they basically have to be in the base game. The only two are Virizion and Suicune so far that are not in the base game and have a Paradox.
I guess that will be a thing too. Virizion, Suicune are not on this game, but I guarantee you they'll be added back in DLC.
Yeah, definitely.
And by default, I would also assume Raikou, Entei, Cobalion, Terrakion, and maybe even Keldeo.
So we kind of touched about terraforms, like additional terraforms, but like, you know, that has been leaked that there's going to be something like that in the game. We just don't know what's the capacity.
Yeah, that's killing me that when we're talking about it, because it's like I know what's going to happen. This is like, this is taking the place of, there's not going to be regional forms or other forms. I don't think. Listen, this takes that place.
You think that's all it's going to be?
We're going to get like 30 of these forms, and that's going to be what we're going to get.
I firmly believe we're getting regional forms. I firmly believe.
I don't think it's only going to be that.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but this is the main attraction here.
No one wants that.
That's not true. People
want it.
That.
That's my wish list.
When the leak happened, it was trending everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. That shows people want it.
Definitely, it's something new and spicy.
They gotta buy it, dude. I don't know.
I'm excited to see how it'll work, like battle wise, like how, like, you know.
I guess it is.
Is it a boost of 2 types? Is it just a bigger boost? Does it change the way moves work? You know, I'm excited to see that.
Is it just?
I guess it is kind of interesting that like they would save the mega, like essentially the mega of terrestrialization. For the DLC. So it's
more like the G-Max of terrestrialization.
Yeah, because that is true. Like when the G-Max forms came out for the DLC, I did not care at all. I was like, I don't use them. I'm not going to use them. This isn't exciting.
Ah, come on. It was cool seeing the Kanto ones get
so much.
Right. It was cool seeing the Kanto ones.
Yeah.
I never used them in the base game. But how often?
That is true. I didn't use them in the base game, but it was still exciting to see because I like to battle. You know.
Yeah.
The art is cool, but that is it. You don't use them in the game. You can only use them during a gym battle.
You can't use them in the game.
You can only use them in a gym battle or an Elite Four, and then once you're done, you're done. You can use them in
Dynamax. That is true, but Terrestrial's not that way.
No, I'm talking about Dynamax. I'm talking about Dynamax and Gigantamax.
Right. How do you use them in a game? You use them in battle, like normal.
I know, but like it was never that compelling to use it. Where Megas, you could use it in any battle, even a level, you know, you could use it against the Kitakami and Pidgeotto.
Well, that's what this is going to be.
Were you the guy who Mega Evolved your level 100 Pokemon when battling the level 3 Wild Fletchling?
Dude, if I had my Pidgeot, we Mega Evolved. My shiny Pidgeot named Gaia, bro, we would Mega Evolve.
No matter what,
we would Mega Evolve and take over.
No, Dusty, no.
Pidgeot's
no matter what you were battling.
No,
Pidgeot. I was upset that Pidgeot and Swellow weren't on here. I was really hoping for Pidgeot and Swellow. You know, I love my birds.
I used to like think Pidgeot was like a waste of everything, but like it's really good. Like I love it.
No, it's so cool.
The older I get, the more I appreciate it. Pidgeot is.
It's the
gorgeous.
OG.
It's the yellow red hair. Oh, it's so cool.
It's so cool.
This is so off topic, but I always liked Pidgeot more than Pidgeotto, and I always hated that everyone was like, Pidgeotto.
Yes, I'm a bigger Pidgeot person too. It was just because of the anime that people were bigger on Pidgeotto.
I think people just like didn't like that the name got shorter.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, evolve the Pidgeotto and make it awesome. Like, why?
What's funny is the Japanese opening of the anime shows him send out a Pidgeotto out of his Pokeball. Yeah. And then it's kind of funny because it doesn't evolve until the last episode of that anime. So, like, that series, whatever. So, they, like, literally in episode 1 spoiled something that would happen in the series finale.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna play through a game soon.
I love
You
it.
do that, man.
Just
Anyway,
a fun
Dusty,
game. Yeah.
I think you're gonna be excited about those forms in the end. Like they
If
are
they're
gonna be.
cool.
They're gonna be more like Mega Evolution anyway. It's not
Yeah,
like
they will
you
be.
can't use it in a certain area. You can pick it anytime you want, other than
That's
you
what-
have to go refill at the stupid.
Yeah,
Pokemon Center,
and that's
but
super
fine.
easy to do, and that's fun. And I think you make a good point. You can use Tera stylization in anything, and I can use them in the raids, right?
Yep.
So that's good to go. I feel like Dynamax raids took forever, so it wasn't even fun to use them in that. So, and it was, and I liked raiding, but so I'm gonna have a good time, I think, with this. And if it's similar to Mega and it's quick, I think it'll be fun. I think
As
it'll
long
be
as the
cool.
forms are
Right.
not just like basic hat changing, and I don't think it will be because they're not that dull to be like. We're just gonna
Yeah.
change the hat and that's it.
Dude, oh, wait, is Onyx on this list?
Adding
Oh,
to
that's
our fear list,
good.
though, that is one of my fears, is that it's just going to be like, oh, look, this one has a red hat. It's a top hat now.
Do you
Ooh.
remember? Yeah, right. Do you? It probably might be a little bit of that, but do you remember all the art? Remember that art of the Eevee with the normal Tera hat, and it's like all crystalline.
Yeah.
I would
yeah,
love to get new art of like all of these new forms, right? So if we have fire,
I'm sure you will. If
let's
they're
say it's
new
a
forms, you will.
fire. Or like a new form, a new Tera form of Scizor. Give us the crystalline Scizor form, like using its claws. Ah, dude,
See,
that'd
you
be
love it.
sick.
That's exactly
I
what
would
it's gonna
like
be
that.
like. It's
I would
gonna
like
be
that.
just like
He'll
Mega.
like it if Scizor gets one. What's gonna happen
Dude,
is they're
I'll
gonna
love
give
it
it
if Scissor gets one.
only to Cleavor.
I like Cleavor.
Okay, well that's good. There you go.
Would be cool. But yeah, there's gonna be art for them, and then there's gonna be like TCG art, and then they're gonna be in the anime. It's gonna be just like everything that they ever did.
Will they be in
much
the
it.
anime though? Galar was very much given the short end of the stick.
It really
Don't
was.
crush my hopes and dreams. They still did
Right.
do Gigantamax and Galar.
They didn't. I don't think
Dude,
they showed
Galar
all of them though.
got with the
Not all of
pandemic.
them.
They certainly didn't. Yeah.
With the pandemic and Journeys, Galar got nothing. It's actually sad.
Look, hey, let me tell you something. The biggest lie you will ever hear from the anime community is that it was the pandemic that's the reason you got nothing of Galar and Journeys. You got
No,
nothing
Journeys
of
was
Galar and
Journeys.
Journeys.
No, I said and Journeys. Like they're separate things.
Oh,
I was thinking of like live events and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Or, like,
I thought you were saying like
production
it impacted how
limitations.
much Galar was in the anime because the
No.
anime went on hiatus because of the pandemic.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just
It was like
Journeys is Journeys.
4 months of it, I think.
All right. I think
But that wasn't the main problem. But
I
yeah,
think
the-
Arbok
wasn't
could
the
also
main-
get a regional evolution. That'd be really cool. I think
Arbok
Arbok
needs an
Arbok
evolution.
had to throw that one in.
Arbok is ripe for a new evolution.
What if
He had to
Arbok,
throw that-
instead of getting a new evolution, got a terraform? You see? Now you have to think, oh, so maybe these could get terraforms.
If you guys are still
Evolution
watching,
spoiler.
make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have merch available. We've got channel memberships activated. We really appreciate you guys watching all the way through. Hit the like button, do all the stuff. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or anywhere else, give us a rating. That'd be really great. We really appreciate you guys listening. So happy we get to do this every single week. We'll see you
A
soon.
good rating, not a bad rating.
It can be bad.
No,
It's constructive criticism, right?
no,
Okay.
this is the best podcast ever. You've
See you
never
guys.
heard a better podcast.
Kitakami and Pidgeotto.